Sad OFW stories. There are literally millions of overseas Filipino workers today, spanning all over the world in 6 continents. Every Filipino knows someone who is an OFW, and I mean everyone. That's a fact. The Philippine economy is deeply boosted by the remittances of OFWs. An ironic economic boom where professionals work outside the country in order to save the country. The OFW's economic significance is so strong that the government itself promotes Filipinos to work overseas. Therefore, it is a common courtesy today to celebrate every OFW as a hero. For Filipinos who are unfortunate to make a good living here in the Philippines, the success stories of our OFWs are sometimes what drives them to take the same path. But not all are success stories. There are also many hidden or unnoticed sad stories of our kababayans. Some horrific stories have even made it to national headlines. Here are 10 common sad stories we've heard from OFWs. One, spouse infidelity. Imagine working for years in a foreign land, doing the most tedious job just so you can earn a living for your family. Away from your family, friends, and every bit of comfort your heart desires. Then one day, you get a webcam call from your children begging you to come home because they've found out that Papa is in a relationship with someone else. 2. Greedy relatives. We Filipinos love to give. We put out so much hard work just so we can give more to our family. And not just our immediate family, but also our extended relatives like our cousins, second cousins, niece, nephews, uncles, aunts, and so on and so on. But sometimes, we would also rather keep what we've earned for ourselves. After all, we work hard for it, so it's ours by right. But when we do keep it for ourselves, the sad part is that our relatives tend to see this gesture as a selfish act. An act of inconsideration, or they would even have the audacity to tell you that you're nagmamalaki na. Relatives who are demanding to be showered with gifts and financial assistance are the most toxic people for OFWs. 3. Earning dollars but also spending dollars. You're finally earning dollars, 4 times bigger than what you can earn here. But you're also living in a country that is also 4 times more expensive than the Philippines in terms of cost of living. so you still need to be matipid. You need to save money so you avoid even the most basic luxury from that country and you try to be madiskarte. One discarte you'll end up doing is living in a small apartment designed for a small family, but there will be 10 of you Pinoys living there for the next couple of years. Not really an ideal lifestyle, even for us Filipinos, but you'll be swallowing your pride to achieve your dreams for your family. Four, death of a loved one. The worst thing that could happen is having a loved one die while you're thousands of miles away. Especially if that person is the reason why you're working abroad to give a better life to that loved one. It hurts not to be there in their last moment. OFWs who had experienced this would often dwell in the thoughts of what ifs. What if I didn't leave? What if I got home sooner? Five, fellow Filipinos will destroy you. Otak talangka or crab mentality is what we call these Filipinos who stab you at the back. If you think you're safe in another country, guess what? These people are also out there. It hurts more when a fellow OFW would put you in a difficult situation. You kinda have this expectation that Filipinos abroad help and protect each other. But it's often too late when you find out that that's not usually the case. Sixth, can't freely practice religion. Filipinos are, of course, religious. Many would pray to God to grant them the blessings of being able to find work outside the country, only to find themselves in another country that prohibits them from praying to the same God they asked help from. There are some countries that forbid the practice of other religions other than what is imposed by the state. Meaning, religious expressions are illegal. Praying in your religion can definitely land you in jail. And sometimes, the punishment might even be more severe than the punishment for thieves. Christmas can be a very cold day for many of our OFWs. 7. Passport confiscated. One of the most common horrible story we often see in the news is the confiscation of passports of OFWs by their employer or recruiter. This is, of course, against international law. Many of our OFWs are poor. They are powerless and voiceless in foreign lands. When your passport is withheld from you, it would be difficult for you to travel back to your country, making you an easy target for different sorts of abuse. 8. Physically abusive employers. In this day and age, it's sad to say that there are still people out there who are treating their workers like slaves. Many of our OFWs who have experienced being physically abused are women. We've heard and seen many horrible stories from the news about them being beaten, burned, raped, unfed, and even murdered. We would even often see in Facebook videos of abused OFWs crying for help. But sadly, we could only watch their plea through a gadget's screen. And no one would have even known their suffering if it wasn't shared by someone. 9. Human trafficking. Illegal recruiters are still everywhere despite the government's efforts to crack down on these unregistered agencies or individuals. These recruiters would lure vulnerable people, usually illiterate women, with promises of a decent job abroad. Only for them to find out that they will only be passed to another recruiter once they reach their country of destination. Their passports are usually confiscated from them by the illegal recruiter. And it would already have been too late for them to find out what human trafficking even means once they realized that they themselves have been trafficked. It's difficult to have these victims rescued because their whereabouts are usually unknown. No savings. Savings is perhaps the most underestimated necessity in a Filipino household. Filipinos definitely love to live in the moment too much that they forget to think about the future. To be able to have a substantial amount of savings, a person needs to be disciplined with his finances. What people fail to realize is that discipline is freedom. Without discipline, you can end up being trapped by the same old problems you've been having for years. In the case of OFWs, it's poverty. Thank you for watching and stay blessed.